Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I think we are at peak Disconnect Plier, and I'll get into why in a sec, but first of all, let me get this out of the way. This is my favorite Disconnect Plier. This is the Mary HS175C. Beautiful Japanese quality, replaceable pincer blades, nice strong spring. The problem? This is about 50 bucks on Amazon, $49.60 when I last looked. That's a lot of money for a pair of these, except it's totally worth it. However, the reason I'm saying peak Disconnect Plier is because you can buy a set like this. Now, when I thought about making this video, I picked one of these up for $10. That's $10 for a pair of these off Amazon. Right now, you can get this same set for $5. In fact, you can buy the individual pliers for like $2.50. Usually don't even see stuff that cheap on Amazon. And that's with free shipping. That's $5 for a pair of these. Now, when I first got this kind, I got a Lisle. And Lisle doesn't have Lisle branding, but it does say patent pending. And usually they're nice and smooth, things line up. You can see grind marks and stuff like that. But I got this one and probably this one. I've gone through a handful of the different Lisle ones. This is a Lisle here. You can see the little patent pending there. This one's almost 30 bucks. These started out around 30 a piece and then dropped down there. About 23 is where these are at. Now, what I'm wondering, and this is the same question that has come up, are these the same? They don't feel the same. They look pretty close. You can see. But you can see on this one, this is a less expensive one. I think I probably got this for about $10, something like that. Look at that. It's got some chroming issues coming apart right there. And that was just to compare. I did videos on that. You can see they are different. It looks like the metal's a little bit different. That could be the heat treating. That could be the grinding. You know, the things just aren't quite right, but it's close enough, and I honestly don't think your connector's going to know the difference. And I compared it to these as well. These are Pittsburghs, I believe, here. And these actually feel really good. These are more clamp or clip pliers, but they so much nicer than this stuff. But then here was that $10 pair that I got. That one, maybe in this guy here, is that, which one? One of these, it's this guy here. Just you grind marks all over the place. You know, look at that difference. This is not straight. I don't know if that really matters. These teeth, I mean, need some orthodontia. It looks like a pumpkin that you make in 3rd grade. It's really stiff. In fact, this one of these has a which one is it? It might be this guy. Let's see. One of them has a, I guess it's probably this one, has the spring, but if you hold it tight, suddenly you might be able to get it to stick so the spring can't push it. This feels a lot thinner compared to the Lisle. You know, both pieces, the vinyl and then the overmold. But, you know, there's no play. It does sort of line up. It's kind of, you know, it's got a kind of a jerky feel to it. But again, you're talking about, if I got 2 of these for 10 bucks, okay, that's $5 a piece versus 20. It's 1/4 the price of the Lisle, and now I can get it for $2.50. So, you know, you're talking, you know, so much less. So why? And are they the same factory? Now, here's what I think is going on. I think, okay, let's take the scenario if it's the same factory. I think there are different levels. So they make tons of them. And then there is quality, not quality control, but basically a quality check. And the good ones maybe get sent to Lisle. The ones that are nice and ground. And this is common across the board with a lot of things. They'll have, you know, you might have seen seconds, you know, or manufacturer defects or blems or, you know, scratch and dents kind of, or something like that. But anyway, can I get that to stick? Anyway, what I think is going on is there are probably levels of quality, and then those go in different bins. Even, you know, electronics, that has happened to. So if you wanted, you know, a high grade of a chip or of a you know, a light bulb or something, there were different versions. Anyway, what I think is going on here is this is a pile of these are made, and then they just have somebody who looks and says, nope, this goes in the $2 pile, this goes in the $5 pile, this goes in the $20 pile. And then they're just distributed like that to the companies that want to buy them. But when I kind of look at some of these, the Lisles definitely have a much better feel. So maybe then Lisle does some other work on them. I don't know. Or does their own high grading and maybe then sells off or sends back the ones they don't want. But you can see just a deviation in the quality as you kind of move further and further away. There's like obviously 3 levels of quality here. There's something that's symmetrical and even and sort of smoothly ground to something that's starting to lose its symmetry, and you've got harsher grind edges. Maybe they're even, they've got, beginners building some and then more advanced grinders building some. I don't know. Or maybe they're running the factories at night. I know that happens in the textile industry. And then you get very similar products in the morning, but just not as good. And then this one that's just way off. You can see all kinds of marks and, where they probably dropped it or sneezed and it hit the grinder. I've done that. But then I'm not trying to sell my pliers. Anyway, and so maybe they found a market. So I think maybe more of this is going to happen. That there are going to be more types of, or more versions, maybe quality levels of similar pliers that are being purchased overseas and then marketed by a company. And that's pretty common. So if the companies can get away with it, especially on a really unique design, why not? Why not start to make, the different levels rather than throwing them away, or maybe they'll try to remelt them, I don't know. But it's just kind of funny to see the massive look, the massive difference in quality on something that is so similar. I don't know. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and if there's another tool that you've noticed this with, because it's pretty funny to see. I'll put a link for the Mary too, so you can take a look at that. You ever want to get a pair of those? This one somebody told me many years ago, and I hesitated, and I have never regretted it, but I think I got into it in the 30s. I don't know. But anyway, there they are. What do you think? Where are these coming from? Are they the same? Are they amateur builds? Maybe apprentice builds? Or maybe just they were built in the same line and just not as good, so they were tossed out. I know that happens. Let me know your thoughts. And with that, Doc out.